Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Flank. We're finally here. I'm your boy Velly. We got Colin Clarke himself. Colin, go ahead and say your thing, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Colin Clarke, the best dressed man in Gears of War. Again, styling and profiling on him across the screen from my main man, Velly. But tonight, we've had a couple of special guests in a row, but tonight is a man who has brought more volume and more hype in the past 4 days than any concert on the face of the planet. Go ahead, introduce yourself, boy.
What's up, guys? My name is Tristan, also known as Musics. I'm one of the players on GNT. And I mean, as everyone can see, we pulled up this weekend. We turned a lot of heads. My teammates are the best.
Yes, yo, you guys had honestly the most remarkable run in Gears that I've seen in a while. It was so electric, Colin. It was the best. But first off, I just want to give a shout out to Bracky Dandy. Tone, go ahead, hit the thing for the close if you get a chance. In case you guys didn't know, on the flank we have our own apparel line. We have shirts. And we have a coat, it's getting cold outside. So listen, if you want to support best dress or your favorite light skin, or even if you want to be the best dress or you want to be the next favorite light skin, make sure you go ahead, visit that link at the bottom, ugcstore.gg/on-the-flank. But jumping right into things, man, this is dedication. Got off the plane, came home, and first thing we do, on the flank. We're here, Colin. And the first topic of the day, I thought it was a catchy title, but it looks so stupid now. Stagnation Nation, Rise Nation. Well, Colin, you watched the whole event. I'm gonna let you go first. What can you really say about them?
I'm watching them and I'm seeing a completely different team. I know they don't have as much practice under them, but something that's really different about them is there were a lot of times where Zerpton could get them out of some tight spots. He could get into some fights, maybe win a fight here or there that he shouldn't at all, but somehow come out on the other side of it, and they were able to follow him into the promised land. But this team right now seems a little discombobulated. They seem a little too heavy, a little too hesitant on 3 or 4 of their players, with one player being ready to be in every fight possible. And that's a man that got the chains taken off him because he, got dropped off of that former Echo Fox team. He was picked up by Rise Nation. I still can't say it's a bad pickup because he's a tremendous player. I just don't think it was the right switch for that team. And here we are after a few days of practice with the other 4 members having been to an event at least together. And they got slapped around quite a few times throughout the weekend. It was not pretty.
Yeah, Music is like a player. You guys didn't get a chance to really, face off against them. Wait, you guys didn't play them, did you?
Who?
Rise.
Oh, we did not play them.
Yeah, you didn't play them.
We played the winner of that match, whether it was Ghost or Rise.
They didn't make it. I remember now. Yeah. But you as a player, looking in on that team, what seemed to be the issue to you really? What are they really missing? Is it a player to blame, the play style? What is it? Because I'm confused.
You're talking about Rise?
Rise, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it just comes down to comfortability at the end of the day, because I'm going to touch up on what you said, Colin. It really doesn't come down to practice. It comes down to really just trusting your teammates and being able to say, if your teammate says something, do it. I mean, that's really what it is. Even if you don't think it's the right play, just do it. Because if you have 4 people doing the wrong play, there's a better chance you're going to win instead of one person just giving their life away. You know what I mean? If you have a set person that's giving calls for you, or, one person that's the main shot caller for you, you don't question what they say, and when they say it, you just do it. You go. Like, I mean, and we're a perfect example of that because, like I said, we had no practice going into this event. Zero. With this 5 that we had no practice. And I mean,
so it's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. There's no excuse. Like, at the end of the day, Ghost was playing with their coach. I love Fatal. Fatal's, I mean, he's a good player, but you know what I mean? He hasn't scrimmed in a year. These are players that hop on the game every day and play the game. Like, there's really no excuse as to what happened. It just can't happen, really. Honestly.
Not at all. Tone, go ahead, show the screens. We took some screenshots of some of the map scores. Really nothing stood out too big except Jerp really going off map 1 on Forge Blitz. Wait, was that map 1? I believe so, yeah. Jerp went absolutely off, but then also you take a look at the other end, you see Detox going double negative. And it's not really what you expect from Rise Nation on a map like that on Force Blitz. They're really dynamic there. Slab, another close game that they lost 7-6. Simplicity, ultimately, got the edge on them. They went against Ghost Gaming shortly after. Ghost Gaming with Old Man Fatal Strike sent home Rise Nation. It's weird to see something like that happen, especially to a team with players of that caliber, because every single player there is actually really good. Like, Colin, you can't really sit there and say, this guy has to go. That guy has to go. It's like, what's happening? It really comes down to play style, right?
Once again, I keep trying to say it. I know you couldn't have gone after Powers. You can't see a player of that caliber sit out in the ether and not go after him. You've got to go get that kind of caliber player, especially if he's just a free agent waiting in the wings. But I did not think it was the right player to get rid of. Somebody that would have completely excelled with someone like Powers at his side, being his wingman. Oh my goodness gracious. Could you imagine those two barreling down on you, Zerp and Powers coming into that bullfight, coming into that immediate fight, whatever fight it might have been right off rip, that top Forge Blitz fight for that button control? That ain't a fight you want to get into. But instead, they drop him, pick up Powers, and now they're a little support heavy. They're a little too much of a back and forth game. They want to be able to lance you down, make you make a mistake. But then you've got teams that are really unorthodoxically playing this game where they're head down, they're a little bit craftier, they're a little bit quicker, and they get up in your grill, they make you pay for it because you're having to rely too much on two guys that have never been true main slayers. I love Detox, amazing player, but he's never been that kind of, I'm out in the forefront having to do it all for my team. I love Avexi. Again, never been the out in front, got to do it all for my team. He's been that kind of player that's been able to play to the side of somebody, get a power weapon in his hand. Yeah, he could get a power weapon in his hand and play off of somebody like Zerp. Now they've got to put Powers in that role, but I think Powers is so much of a slayer that they've lost that head of the snake call out position. That guy who was in every fight possible being able to say, I've got two rotating here, I've got one rotating there. So now you've got that gone, and you've got a super slayer, but you've got to figure out who's going to fill that void. And right now, with that void being that way, they've got to figure it out in the next 4 days, because Columbus isn't right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It's the bodega at the end of the street you're about to walk into.
You know what's really weird? It's going to be funny that I actually say this, because Jerp did the best behind Toy Soldier on Force Blitz. He did the best on that team for Rise Nation on Force. He's really the reason why they had a shot. But Jerp was playing the control tower. You know, looking at the type of player Jerp is, you really want him in an area where he's going to, be in the middle of everybody, and everybody feeds off of his support and whatnot. Jerp can slay, but, his strong point is really to be that team player. And Music agrees with me, so I'm not that stupid, apparently. And the fact that, when you had Jerp walking around the map with the sniper rifle, I'm sitting here like, all right, Jerp is walking around with a sniper rifle, and he's doing great. Then you have Detox over there where you could put Jerp, and Detox is 11 and 22, and he's struggling. Like, why these positions for these players? It's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And then, them losing against Ghost Gaming, I just feel like just the momentum was gone. They were questioning themselves at that point. Music, do you see like this team picking it up? Do you think that they need a team change, or they just need to stick together and just rework things the way they play?
I mean, if I'm being honest, like I said, it really comes down to comfortability. It doesn't matter about at this point in the game. Everybody can hit shots. It's really just, like I said, it comes down to just listening to your teammates. And if they don't want to do that, then they're never going to have success. And that's with any team. That's not just with them. That's with any team you put together. You can't, more or less, I kind of feel like, at this point, it is a regional, but I think it is a big hit.
There's no excuse to that.
No, but I think it's a big hit for their confidence going into the charity event. I think it's going to have a big factor in their performance, for sure.
Oh, big time. For sure. And Colin, one thing I do want to say, I'd never questioned the Powers move. Like, I really didn't care about it. But I really liked Zerp, how he played with some of the players on Rise Nation. And I feel like Hive is a great team, but I feel like they also messed up by removing Toady. It's just weird all around, but I feel like Rise removing Zerp messed it up for themselves and also, Hive.
Yep.
It's two different beasts. It's almost the way that I would look at it is you had two different human beings. They got rid of Toady off of that ex Nimbus now Hive team. They got rid of their heart with that move. Zerpting getting taken off Arise got rid of most of their head. They've now got to figure out who's going to be the head of that human, is going to be able to lead them into these charges. It's back to the whiteboard, and Escamani has got to figure something out in the next few days. I know he's smart enough to try to figure it out. I know he's got the ability to get back in the lab. He's got the ability to look at these players, figure out what their strong points are, what their weak points are, and make this happen before the Charity Invitational this week. He's got great talent in front of him. All he's got to do is make the right calls, get Keem on the phone and say, look, let's figure this out together. You and I, we've got to do this together. We're not going to be one strong side. We're not going to be one weak side. We as coaches have got to make this thing happen in the next 4 days. And you can't let talented players like Detox and Avexis just go to waste, especially Powers. You cannot let that kind of talent go to waste, especially coming up 12 best teams in the world. It's not a chance for them to be able to mess around. They don't have the opportunity to play an open bracket team to maybe get their feet under them, maybe get, some momentum going against the other pool play teams. No, sir. This is the 12 best you're going against all of a sudden. Minus one that I think we need to talk a lot about later in the show. There is a team that might need to be there that could give a lot of these teams Rambaday money right now.
I feel like we might talk about them next, but I'm pretty much to close the topic. I'm looking in the chat. PR said, Escamani, what about Keem? You touched up on that. I feel like Rise, they're just confused about what they need. Like I said before, Force Blitz, I'd rather have Avexis in the tower. Avexis really, he wasn't as big this event as we saw other events. Maybe it's because he works better with the Zerp, or maybe they just have him in bad spots. Some of the spots are highly questionable, but that's that. But going on to the next topic, it has to do with the main man in the middle. Heady music. Let's just go ahead and play the clip. I want you guys to see the excitement from him. Go ahead, Tony, man.
Oh my lord, I thought he was going to do it.
Oh, almost put 5 down. That is it. GNT going on to the finals.
You heard him. We did it. Amazing. Just how relieved did sorry, I had some in my ears. How relieved did
Yo, music. Describe that moment to everybody, like going to the grand finals. How did that feel, man? Because not a lot of people get to do that.
Man, if I'm being honest with you, dude, I mean, I've had a rough season too, and just to be able to come back out of everything that's happened and my teammates give me a chance, it was a really good feeling, man. As you can see, the emotions were there. Personally, I was doing it the only reason why I kept going was, when I started playing Gears of War, my dad was the only person that believed in me. And obviously, he's passed. And so that's one of the real reasons why that's kept me going. And just to be able to have some, it's not, I guess, a little bit success. It's a regional in my eyes. I want to do it on the big stage, but it's the first step to something bigger. And the emotions were pouring, man. It was awesome.
I bet it was amazing. Tell everybody in the stream right now, in case they didn't watch the tournament or whatnot, who's on that team? Because someone actually asked that in the stream, Berto. He said, who's on that team?
On Reciprocity or on my team?
No, your team. Your team, boy. This is about you right now.
I'm sorry. It's Music's, myself, which I'm Music's. We got Firearm. We have Q or Heza. We have Crushmo, and we have Toady. We're a bunch of, I'm not going to say misfits, but we're a bunch of people who either...
You guys are misfits.
Yeah, more or less. And we just formed this and now we're here, man.
Pretty much a bunch of rejects put on one team. I remember earlier on in season 2, people didn't want a team with Firearm. People didn't want a team with Firearm because they literally, and I heard it on phone calls. They said he was bad. They didn't want a team with him. People didn't want a team with Crushmo, give Crushmo a shot. People didn't even want to give you a shot. Toady just got kicked off of, Nimbus or whatever. But Colin, so the make of this team, do you think is, beginner's luck? Is it the honeymoon phase? Or do you think if this team actually stick together and learn with each other, they could actually be a threat?
This team is no joke. If this team decides
look how we came up.
stick it out. If they can stick it out until Mexico City, this team is the most dangerous team on the circuit that nobody's talking about except for right here on the flank. These 5 boys have something. When they got their ball rolling in their favor and they had everything working and they were firing on all pistons, they had the most dangerous aspect of any team you could ever have. And they went up against one team who are still the Kings of Gears of War, who still sit on the throne, but they had something that they could go at them with. They had all the heart in the world. I say it time and time again. I want a player that's willing to lay down on the wire and take the bomb for his teammate, who's going to give everything he can for the other 4 guys sitting around him. And there is nothing in this world that means more to me than seeing 5 guys who want it more than anything else, that say, damn what everybody else says. I don't care what anybody on the desk says. I don't care what anybody across from us says. I don't care what our round count is. I don't care what our stats are. We're going to win this matchup because we want it more for the other 4 guys around us. It's just like Trooper, my main man Trooper, echoed the sentiment. He heard it being said by him as soon as they won that match. We did it. Most of the time you hear people say, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or your stats weren't great. They said we did it. That's a unit right there. That's a team to be feared if they continue to keep that mindset, keep their nose to the grindstone. And they've got 3 players on that team that every time I've gotten to speak with them, I've absolutely loved every moment of conversation with them. It made me realize that they are not just professionals, but they're hungry professionals. And they're professionals that want it so bad that they can taste it in the air itself. They say, it sounds like that tastes like winning to me. It tastes like winning. And those boys have got great things in front of them. I can't wait to see what they do. I really want to see them go together forward, especially all the way into Mexico City. This many months of practice, being able to get together and get every map situated, make sure they have no weaknesses and nobody can sneak up on them. They are not going to just be a threat. They are going to be someone to be dealt with. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen.
No, they're going to be a damn problem. They beat Reciprocity. All right, Reciprocity is actually like a legit team. That team isn't, a knockoff team that's going to get top 12 or top 16 anytime soon. They beat Simplicity, so that actually says a lot. And then not only that, I mean, let's be honest, Ghost Gaming didn't have their 5th there, but the fact that you still beat 4 of those guys, it says something. Because those 4 guys are honestly scary as hell, sub or not. I don't want to play against Reshies and Speedy. But Music, are we possibly gonna see this team in Mexico in the future, man? Y'all got plans on sticking together or something?
So yeah, we do plan on sticking together, and we're gonna make it work. We're gonna see what we can do.
I love it.
Why
man.
would you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason not to. We talked about it, but
yeah,
good.
So going into the grand finals, last question about this, man. If you guys won that first map against Optic, what would have happened afterwards?
The game definitely, in my opinion, would have been closer. With Optic, if they give you an inch, you have to take that mile, because if you don't, they're going to do it. I mean, if you don't close out those trip cap rounds, or those rounds that you're in a 2v1 or 3v1 and you don't close those rounds out, they feed off of that. They're like dogs. They feel like they can feel that fear that your opponent, like that the opponent has, and they feed off of it. So if you don't close it out, I mean, you saw what happened. I mean, second map, it was clip.
Second map wasn't even fair at that point.
But like it comes back to, if we win that first map, I mean, they're not pushing us like the way they were. Look at it from their eyes. We have to beat them twice and they're already up a map. I mean, you know what I mean? So they're playing with all the confidence in the world. I mean, if we win that first map, it goes, in my opinion, it's a little bit closer game. For sure.
You should take away from that, Music. Don't get too hard on yourself, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't seen Gilbert yell at nobody like that in about a year. All right.
It takes a lot.
Against Ghost Gaming in San Diego, they didn't even stand up. They're at a damn regional, and y'all got them boys so hot and heavy, ready to go, that they're standing up talking crash. You got explosive popping veins out of his forehead he didn't even know he had.
I want to know something funny. Actually, in season 1, CMG hosted a regional before Gears picked up, at CMG as to help them with regionals. It was a local. PJJ actually went there. We beat Explosives, and we were talking the most mess to him. So I'm sure he remembered all that, and he was with his actual team. So that's why he was there for the vengeance, man. He was ready. He's freaking Kev, man. Kev. You go up 6'5", minute explosives, like did all
Kev was definitely like he was the firecracker on the team. The fact that he would jump up and talk trash to everybody, that made my day, man. But Colin, from your point of view, I was at the event, man. Toronto was nice, it was beautiful, it was cold as hell. But what was your little recap about Toronto, man? What really stood out to you, other than what we spoke about?
Of all the things, in my opinion, that stood out the most to me, outside, if we take GNT out of it and we just say, let's just push that off to the side, we know that they did everything right. They beat everybody in their path. Things that stood out to me. Our first topic, I need Rise to pick it up in the next few days because they're going to Columbus and they're going to have to figure something out before they get smacked back and forth. Go on ahead.
Because Colin, I'm gonna ask you questions. Music, feel free to answer back. I just want to clarify it. Rise, it's like they're progressively kind of taking a step back, dude. Mortifies, Franco, Zerp, all great players. They were removed and they're not getting better. Like, no, I'm done talking about Rise. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Can I just add to that?
I feel like I'm gonna beat a dead horse, man.
It's not even about Rise. It's just about Gears in general. The people you come up with, most of the time, if you try to make those roster changes, I mean, as you saw with Rise, as you see with a bunch of other teams in Gears, 7 out of the 10 times, it's not going to work. Like
I feel like you're forcing it.
Yeah, yes, and not just then. Like that. That's with. I feel like Gears is about names, and it's about, oh yeah, this person did this 2 years ago or a year ago. Like it's about what you're doing now.
I agree.
Bring to the table now, not what you did a year ago, not because you have a name from the past. You know what I mean? It's a really bad thing in Gears, and I think we're getting a little bit. I think that's why, like you said, Rise is a little bit on the downfall. It has to do with that.
That was actually you literally answered the question I was gonna ask, because it kind of comes to a part where it's like you look at GNT, Crushmo, Firearm Music, music. He's not a big name. He's not like a pro top name in the community, and yet he was in the grand finals. But you start to pick up all these big names, you're not doing better. And then you kind of look back and you guys were actually good when you had Franco. You were good when you had Mortify. Like you're really good when you had Zerp. It's coming to the end of Gears of War. Yeah, coming to the end of Gears of War is kind of like you gotta not force it just because the names, which is how it feels when you play with them. You guys have to really understand each other. But keep going on with your analysis. I mean, your recap, Colin.
That's all I really had to say about that. But yeah, go ahead, Colin.
The other biggest takeaway for me, really honestly, was I kept seeing a lot of, how do I put this, technical issues that led to excuses, in my opinion, from other big name players and teams throughout the entire weekend. People saying they DC'd, people saying they were sitting back. And I'm not there. I can't speak for anything. But at the end of the day, if your team is consistently week in and week out put into work and done everything right, shouldn't they continue to be on top? Shouldn't they continue to put everybody else down? And I'm talking a little bit about reciprocity. I saw reciprocity start standing up, looking around. Music's in your match against them. You might be able to speak to it because you were there in person. Were they actually having technical difficulties? Or was that a little bit of the shaky hands coming out and I need a breather?
I'm not too sure about that. I did see Lava's controller disconnect one round. I actually did go back and watch the VOD. There was one round where he's just standing still. But besides that, I mean, they still won that round. So that's one round.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk.
There's no excuse to that, though. There's no excuse if you're reciprocity. If you're reciprocity and you're really looking to make that jump to be a top 4 team, you're on the United trying to break that top 4. Now you pick up Sam and Soto. If you're really trying to make that jump, you can't let a team with no practice beat you. I don't care if that one round happened. That one round, like, it shouldn't have even mattered at this point. To be honest, I expected reciprocity to really beat the brakes off of GNT. Just my heart was rolling with GNT. I wanted GNT to win because, they were the underdogs. But reciprocity is just, there's no excuses. Same with Simplicity, same with everybody else. Like, if you really have to play in one round of stalling that you actually won against a pickup team that literally put up to the event with the Capri Suns and was like, yo, Firearm, where you want to go? And he was like, hey, Snipe Tower, hey, it's lit. Like, that's bad on your end. No excuses. Shouldn't be close. You're a professional team. Go on, man. I'm done.
The best analogy I can never give for it. It's like a classic blue blood college losing into March Madness to a 16 seed. You just don't expect it to happen, and then all of a sudden, that 16 seed's playing with nothing to lose, and they turn around and they beat you. And now you're staring at defeat, and you say, I don't know what happened. Excuses can't happen. Things like that can't be used to try to circumvent what actually happened. And that was one team played exceptionally well. That's GNT against a team that we all thought should have won that matchup. And I think a lot of people picked them. Trooper did call it, though. I believe he called the correct map counter, the correct map winner in map 3. So congrats to him. Big ups to him. Other big noticeable things is, once again, Optic has this moment where their wheels aren't turning exactly. There's no grease to it. The brakes are still a little clutched on, and they're like that 18-wheeler. And then all of a sudden they get rolling and pumping down a hill, and next thing you know, they've just run everybody over. And they run into GNT, who does make map 1 as interesting as it can possibly be, and then it falls apart. And now they've got that lightning fast speed coming again, and next thing you know, you blink your eye, Grand Championships is over. So what we're looking at are teams that should have done better, fell to the wayside, and a team that everybody expects to continue to just keep backhanding everybody on the face of the planet continues to do so, which is why you keep seeing all these different recycled players going around team to team to team to team, because people are trying to find what's going to beat them. But it ain't going to work if you just keep recycling. They always talk about how every time you recycle, you lose a little bit of the original product. Right now, GNT is an original product. I hope they don't recycle nobody on that team, because they're an original product. Right now, you got another big team that recycled one player. They dropped Powers. They picked up Shock. That's Fury. They're going into the Invitational. They've recycled one part. Are they going to get better, or are they going to lose a little bit of that original product that got all that hype and all that intensity in New Orleans, where they won? They were the first team to ever win 7 straight rounds against Optic Gaming. This is the things that you got to think about. You got to look at what people have been able to do against them and on what maps they were able to do it on. A big point to me is something we still got to take. We can't take for granted is just how great some of those Optic Gaming players are. I never take anything away from them. When somebody had a blind side incendiary grenade, I can't remember who it was, threw it at Mental, and Mental, like Spider-Man, sensed it out the backside of his head and rolled backwards off the cover on Diner. I'm just shaking my head because I said, how you beat that? He could feel the danger getting close. He rolls back. It just hurts my soul to watch, but I know somewhere down the line, one of these teams is going to figure that out. And GNT did a great job of making Optic Gaming play for it. You got to make them work, and you got to make them sweat. You got to make them a little bit nervous, because you got to get them to a point. Yeah, what's the difference?
My bad. The difference was they weren't scared. All these other teams that they play against Optic, they're like this. All right, we're playing against Mental. We're playing Explosive. Oh, shit. And like when they went into it, Farm got up. He's like, "Yo, Gilbert, what's up?" Fire, music getting up, yelling at him too. They weren't scared. So if you're not scared, you're not thinking too much about it. That happened in the second map, and that pretty much proves my theory right. These other teams play against Optic. They're scared. They want to play perfect. Oh, don't die, save your life. Don't challenge that fight. Don't challenge that 2v1, and that's what happens. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, you can't be a cat. You can't be a cat on a hot tin roof. You can't be nervous. You can't be shaking. You got to go in there and you got to figure out. You got to be that bull with the biggest horns in the yard, and you got to know that everything inside that fence is your property, and anybody that comes in, you're going to take them out. And Optic Gaming lately has done that. I say lately, for about a full year now, has done that better than anybody else. 2 years now on the Pro Circus, because they've only dropped two tournaments. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. I take away the good from Toronto. I say GNT played well. You had a lot of younger faces, a lot of lower level names have good matchups. They had great maps. Yeah. People were going off. So you're being able to make a name for yourself. But then on the backside of it, we got to figure out who's going to take down that green wall, who has the sledgehammer necessary to break through that green wall. And I think right now you've got 2 really amazing contenders. Ghost Gaming is yet to do it. They're 0 for their life against Optic Gaming. So they've got to figure something out. They've got to no shot from you. Fury has a good chance because they've got players that are as familiar with Optic Gaming as anybody else. And they got 4 of the best players in the game to ever go up against Optic Gaming. And I ain't gonna lie, I want GNT to play Optic Gaming every week in a 2K because I think sooner or later they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna get to them. They're gonna get under their skin. Guys like Kevin, Firearm, he is gonna figure something out to keep the energy level high, to make somebody shaky, and then win a round that they shouldn't have won. Next thing you know, they've taken a map off them. They've taken a series off of them, and everybody's shaking their head saying, what is going on right now? So these guys got to stick together. You got 2 teams that got a great chance at doing it. Toronto is about 3 things: names happening, big names, little names becoming big names.
Yep.
Orgs need to look at these teams that have got some real talent on them. Talking GNT, talking Fury going into Invitational, and Optic Gaming still sitting on that throne with look, just like the Game of Thrones, they got 1,000 swords of all of Explosive's enemies, and he's melted them together with the fire-breathing mental dragon he's got. That's what I take.
I like what you said. I like what you said about the orgs. Yeah, we know the situation with Optic. Lamb, Kings, or Gods, whatever, the old Optic Mexico. Yeah, we know the situation with Fury. GNT is actually a pretty interesting team if you're an org out there, because GNT is not going to have a high price tag to come along with them. These guys, I'm pretty sure, just knowing how humble they are, especially knowing Kevin and you music, I know they're not going to ask for much. They just want to make sure, they get, $1 in their pocket, and that they're able to go to events and really rep an org. You literally have one of the most charismatic players in the Gears community, which is Firearm. I wish he dropped more content, because if Firearm did, he'd probably be the most popular player in Gears, next to Praise and all them. But they need to work on their brands. You need to work on your brands. You have a French Canadian, you got Music, that Texas boy. You got Firearm, the slick New Yorker. You got Toady that came from Hive. He got something to prove, man. You got Dubstep Heza, man. Like, this team can really be something special. And if you really want it, sell yourself. I'm not talking about Craigslist, all right? Like, the back.
Can't do that no more about it.
No.
FBI got on them. They shut that down.
Right. I'm talking about sell yourself as an entertainer and a professional player that's able to reach out to the masses, gain an audience, have a fan base, and really make something out of yourself, because a lot of players are taking advantage of that, such as Drakes. And they're definitely profiting off of that. So music.
How you not gonna mention Ribs when you talk about players that are doing that?
Oh no, Ribs, especially Ribs is a brand ambassador for a reason.
Drops content.
No, Ribs goes off right now, and Summons too. But I mean, like, for you guys especially, like, you guys are on the come up. Summons has that Optic tag. Ribs has Ghost Gaming. Drakes has Rise Nation. You have nobody. You need to do what I did. Start from the beginning. Start something fresh. Gain a fan base. Right off of that momentum. Make it to where someone really wants you. You don't have to really sell yourself. And I really hope you guys get a nice little decent org, because I would love to see you guys in Mexico, to where you're not stressed out about your funds. You're not stressed out about your flight and your hotel and just trying to break even. I want you to have a clear head. Go to Mexico. Go the fuck off. That's what I want. But that's pretty much what's up, Colin?
I was just gonna say, did you happen to catch? I know it's a long shot, but did you happen to catch the jersey that Heza was wearing on Sunday? Talking to motivate.
They all rep their old orgs.
Crushmo had on a world's best. Like, it's one of those things where you got
Crushmo had road best. Yeah.
Yep.
Heza, I believe, had Motivate.
And then Kevin had the era.
Motivate. Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin had on air. It's crazy to see.
Wait, you know what's crazy about that, Colin? You know what's crazy about that? In the last 2 events, there's pro players on the main stage that wore hoodies instead of on their jerseys.
Yeah.
But if you're an org out there, you got these guys that are repping their old teams just cause. But yeah, for my end of the Toronto recap, basically that was a great event. Pretty much Colin hit the nail on the head about every topic. But GNT Esports, they're here. They're here. I don't know if they're gonna keep that name or whatnot, but Music and Co, they're definitely here. Optics are Optic. Simplicity, I don't know about those boys. Reciprocity, I'm not worried about them. Rise Nation, it's time to hit that panic button. You got 3 events left this year. And Northern Arena, they put on a hell of a show. We had fun. We had 4 casters the whole weekend, and we made it happen. We made it happen, and that was honestly some of the most fun I've ever had. But moving on to the next topic, I want to play this clip. Tony, just pick a random clip from the 2 I sent you.
Oh.
Yes. All right. Now, the reason why we pulled that up, the topic is going to be trash talk. Gears of War, we all know what trash talk is about. We saw Old Man Fatal up there. It's pretty funny because I actually had a debate earlier when I was at the airport with my man Ace Dolo, real popular streamer. He talks about how trash talk can damage viewership. Other games, they don't do trash talk because they care about viewership. Check out these numbers. On that clip where Explosive was yelling at Firearm, 633,000 views. She got 25,000 likes, almost 7,000 retweets. Right after that, when Optic actually beat GNT Esports, almost 230,000 views, almost 6,000 likes, and 1.4 thousand retweets. So the one thing I want to say about that is that Gears of War, keep doing you, don't change. Clean up, stop saying the N-word. I personally feel like tech should go out for that. Other than that, keep the trash talk, fresh, keep it coming. Be you in the interviews, because this is the one thing in the game that we have over every other esport, because nobody else can top it like we do. But
Yes.
Music, man. When it comes to trash talk, like, what's your point of view on that in Gears of War, man? I fucking love it.
The way I look at it, man, me personally, is I know when I'm yelling at people, people, I mean, they look at me like I'm really getting yelled at by this kid right now. Who is this kid? Like, look at him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting beat by this kid right now. And just me, I mean, it's really like, getting in their head. And just, like I said, I think it being me personally has a lot to do with why it's successful. And like I said, I actually got interviewed. She asked me, the girl asked me, she said, have you ever had to eat your words? And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, of course I have. I mean, it happens, but you don't stop it, because it's part of your game plan, and going into some of the games you play, it's part of the strategy. I mean,
Yeah,
it's, you know what I mean? So
that's that.
one
thing I want to point out.
Like,
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, I was just gonna say the mental part of Gears of War has a lot to do with your in-game performance, and of course you know that
momentum. Definitely. Horror's put in the chat. I think it's less about the viewers and more about the sponsors and orgs, etc. If that's the case, slap DQs if you throw out the N-word. Can't say the B word. Other than that, fair game. Say hell, say damn, say ass. All that. Talk trash. Make it fresh. Make it fun. Also, in regards to orgs and sponsors, I mean, also you got to think about it. Orgs and sponsors, they want to go to a popular game, right? When Praise talked trash to Echo Fox, we jumped up to 60,000 viewers. 60,000 viewers is a lot of damn viewers in the most Gears of War has ever had. When that happened, websites wrote articles about us. Websites were retweeting us. Big pages were retweeting us. Optic people at the top retweeted us. We're so popular after events because of the trash talk. And you know what that's gonna do? It makes our game popular. Orgs want to come in. Hey, they have 60,000 viewers. Oh shit. What if it happens again? Praise goes off on a crazy interview. We get 100,000 viewers. You think that's not gonna bring attention from sponsors and orgs? Like, you're out of your mind. Yeah. A lot of people aren't gonna like trash talking, but you know what? A lot of people don't like the same thing. I like pineapples on pizza. Colin probably hates it. Colin, do you hate it?
No, I don't. I love it, actually.
I do.
All right, there we go. That's my brother right there, man. That's my brother. But it's just like, you guys have to realize that drama in sports in general is actually a really good thing, actually. Gears of War, like I said, 60K at our most hype event when it came to trash talk. For the UFC, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather is what they do best. So anybody that wants to really put down trash talking in Gears of War, you got to kind of look at the factual side of things, okay? You can't just say, oh, it's stupid because you personally don't like the aggression. And it's not like people talk trash just to fight. It's in game, because at the end of the day, we fist bump, we high five, we move on. Heza and Speedy, if they go up to each other right now, you know what they're gonna do? They're probably gonna hug and dap up and talk about the event. So, Colin, do you agree with me? Do I sound crazy? What's going on, man? Because I'm tired of the argument. It helps us.
Actually, from everybody's favorite little black book where I do all my research, I got 3 examples for you to help you out with trash talk and why trash talk should never go anywhere in the entire world. What was the biggest bandwagon fandom? What jersey was the highest selling jersey for 3 years running in the NFL between 2012 and 2015? It was Richard Sherman. He talked more trash in the NFL, and Carter's got liver pills.
And wait. Let me add on to that. Richard Sherman also got endorsed. Richard Sherman also got endorsed by a lot of companies. He made millions of dollars because of trash talking. But go on.
Next one. Why did everybody tune in to every single Duke Blue Devils game when a certain man was there talking trash to every single human being that would listen to him? And they even made a special about him on ESPN. Because everybody hates Christian Laettner. And all Christian Laettner did was talk trash to every other soul that was on the court from him. But everybody watched because everybody wanted to see the man talking all the trash get beat by somebody, anybody. They were looking for a prayer. And my third and final response, who makes the most money in boxing in the history of the sport? Floyd Money Mayweather.
So much shit.
And I don't think that man has shut up since he came out the womb. He has done nothing but let everybody know he's better than them since the day he put on a pair of gloves. So for anybody that ever tells us trash talking is not where it's at, 2 big things for you. 1, it's what makes Gears of War unique. You don't go to a shop looking for a specialty item. You don't go to Walmart looking for that specialty item. You don't go to Target looking for that specialty item. You want to come to this shop, you come to the Gears of War headquarters, baby, and you're going to get the best trash talk you've ever heard in your life, something that might make your mama blush, but you ain't never going to forget it as long as you walk this earth. And if you want the best kind of intense, passionate gameplay, you can open the door and you can look down the street of Call of Duty and all that's a little routine. You see that happening. You can look down the other side of the street. You see Dota. That's a little in-depth. There's a lot of champions of that. There's a lot going on, and it's got huge viewership. It's got the most money in history. The Invitational will probably always be the biggest esports tournament. But if you want the passion where somebody's going to get up and be willing to throw everything they have, blood, sweat, tears, until the day they get put 6 feet in the ground, it's right here in Gears of War. There ain't nowhere else to be.
I can't have said it better. I can't. How do you even follow music? Follow up, man. You can't say nothing after that.
You got an A+. That's all I'm gonna say. You do your facts. Your facts ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. But trash talk. I'm
what
pretty much that.
Separates
my bad
from. No, I'm sorry. Trash talk is really what separates people from. Other teams. You know what I mean? People. You grow a fan base because people like that hype. And I know there is people out there that say that, oh, trash talk's bad. This dude looks stupid for getting up, screaming, it's a video game, blah, blah, blah. It's part of the game, and it's what makes, like y'all said, Gears of War. I already rewatched the stream, and there was people in the chat saying, I haven't seen trash talk like this since Gears 1, Gears 2. Like, it's what makes Gears of War. And if you don't want to see that and you don't want to be a part of that, then don't watch the stream and don't be involved in it, because you know what Gears is going to bring. You know it brings the hype. It's that simple. It comes with the game. It comes with Gears of War in the name.
Hey, and that's it. That's why Gears of War is about to be. Listen, Gears of War is the best game when it comes to trash talk. It's going to be the best game when it comes to rivalries for years to come. And I hope it continues to stay that way. If you don't like trash talk, like Music said, if it's not your thing, turn the channel. It's not going to hurt you. But for the people that love it, I feel like we should continue to push that out there. I feel like the pro players, it's really big on them that the pro players are actually, they should, really let their personality shine during these interviews. Don't hold back. If you think a team is trash, be like, yo, Music, you played against Response, you beat them. Yo, Lava's trash. See why I got kicked off of Optic. Really speak up on stuff like that. Yo, shout out to Lava, of no shade, but it's something that should really circle around all the pro player teams. because that's what we need, you know, to help grow your game, and really be yourself. Don't be shy, because people are tuning in for entertainment, and they tune in because they want to hear praise, you know, pop off. They want to hear explosive, you know, bet his whole house on a game, and yeah, go on from there. But other than that, man, pretty much finishing up on the show. We, you know, 45-minute mark. Colin, music, anything else you want to pick up on?
Thank y'all for having me, guys, and I just shout out to my teammates. They're the best. They're the greatest.
Yeah, if you guys don't sit together, I'm literally like fighting everybody. You guys were such like an electrifying team. It was a breath of fresh air just to see like that group of players really play and just really just show out. Like, you guys made Toronto what it was. Toronto literally was popping because of your team. Like, really think about that. Go on scrims. If you guys lose, listen, take a breath, talk about it, get better, keep going. But I'm really happy you guys showed up. Go ahead, Colin.
I was just going to ask real quick. You said if we got the time for it, if you don't mind elaborating for me a little bit, Musics and Velly, because y'all were there, y'all got to see it in person. What is the whole new map rotation like? Is it refreshing to have new maps be seen on screen? Is it nice to be able to play a little bit more of a chess game with the opposing team?
Of course it is. I mean, as a viewer and as a player, being able to play and learn new maps, you're being able to grow your game. And I mean, me personally, I love these new maps because, I mean, it's like you said, refreshing, and you're able to more or less, like y'all were saying on stream a lot of these teams they haven't been able to practice the new maps. So you're going into these new maps on the same page as these other teams, if not at a better pace, because they don't know what they're doing, as if you were to play on Foundation or a Reclaimed or any of the old maps that were in the cycle before. I think adding these new maps brought a real like breath and just a deep breath into the Gears of War cycle and the scene personally.
Yeah, I personally loved it, man. The fact that we're seeing more maps other than just Foundation, Forge, and Reclaimed. I miss Reclaimed, RIP, but it's a breath of fresh air. If it was up to me, we would have thrown some execution maps, but that's a conversation for another day, Colin.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. I'm actually glad. I'm really glad to hear that, because for me, it's I was a big proponent of wanting them to add new maps, period, general end of the story. I didn't care if they took a map out to add in new maps. But for me, I was really, I felt like they should come out with a bunch of new maps, have all these maps be put in the cycle, and force teams to pick and choose, play a little chess game with each other, try to make somebody feel a little bit uncomfortable. Because I felt like as a viewer, you kept seeing the same fight 1,000 times in a weekend. You knew how it was going to go. You knew how it'd be played. There'd be no point in breaking down the fight. No point really looking at it from a deeper level where this guy didn't get across from that point. But then this weekend, for the first time in history, there was these moments where I absolutely loved seeing, I think it was Summons on Diner, had a little itty bitty piece of the truck that wasn't connected to the wall that he was able to just shoot through, and he got like 2 bullets on somebody at the ice cream or the taco truck outside in Diner. And I'm like, ain't nobody thought about that yet. These boys must have been playing this map for 30 straight hours to find that corner. But it was nice to me because you could break something down. You could actually talk about something brand new that maybe nobody else had seen or heard, see an angle that nobody had thought of, and be like, this is why these teams are excelling at this map, because they're able to find these little nerdy angles. You know what I'm saying? It was great to me as a viewer. So I wanted to know how it was in person.
It was
I do want to give a shout out to the coalition. They did a lot as with the Pro Point Decay and, you know, trying to keep everything fresh. And I mean, towards the end of the season with the regionals, the charity event, and the new maps, honestly. I mean, they kind of not redid, but they updated and refreshed everything and gave players who weren't, I mean, not, let's say, with the pro points wise up there, they gave them a chance to come back in this later season and be like, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? It was really good on their part to do that, because it brought back some of the old players.
It gave a breath of fresh life to a bunch of players who maybe didn't get any kind of chance whatsoever from anybody because they had fallen to the curbside. And now they had brought that brand new fancy Point Decay bus up and said, everybody get the hell on. We're going back to Titletown, baby. Let's see who's got what it takes.
Yeah, it's not. I think up until that, a lot of the top teams got complacent because it was the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It went to a point where whenever there was a team change, it wasn't a logical team change. some of the team changes, they really thought about pro points and, really did things from that perspective. But now you have teams like GNT that could, do well on 2Ks and everything. And by Mexico, they could actually have top 8 status, which is something that, we'll love to see if they're not already top 8 status with their pro points. But
we actually right now, I think if we for some reason get a miracle invite to the invitation, that'll be big. But as of right now, before the invitation comes, I think we're 6th seed. We're right there with Rec on taking it. Yeah, we're right there. I don't know exactly. I haven't done the math completely, but I know we passed up Simplicity, and we're right there with Rec. So it just depends on if we get into this invitation or not.
All right.
Yeah,
before we go to the outro music. Oh, my bad. There's for people that don't know, I'm not really trying to speak over music. There's literally like a 0.5 millisecond delay. But music. Wait, say it again? Damn it.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go.
All right. Oh, what you call it? You're not gonna be at the invitation next week, and I hope you guys get super invite. Probably won't happen, but do you think anybody's gonna challenge Optic?
As of like I said with the thing, like I said earlier, the thing with Optic is they give you the inches. You just have to be able to take that mile. Like they're beatable, man. But like I said, once they have that, they smell that fear, it's over. Once you see them smiling and you have Praise standing up laughing, you have Solar just on his phone, like Mental just not talking, just staring into the screen, like that's when they're at their best. And like Colin said best earlier, when we played them first map, they weren't well, like a well-oiled machine. We were going back and forth round to round with them, and then like I said, once they got that round 13 and they got that, oh my, like these kids just choked that. I mean, look what happened to them. As of right now, I don't see Optic falling anytime soon. No. Nah. I don't, unfortunately.
I see them pretty much running through with the invitation. Do I want to see them get beat? Hell yeah. But I'm kind of done giving teams, my approval, whatever, to beat them or win an event until I just see it happen at this point. But I really want to thank you for being on the show. You always come up to me before events. We always run into each other randomly, and you always say, "Hey, Velly, this is how I feel about this team. This is how I think we're gonna do." And you've always struggled, man. But for this event, when I saw that team, and I said, "Okay, this team actually looks pretty solid." You guys started, beating teams, and you would come up to me and you tell me the status about you guys. You're like, "Yo, I love this team. Like they actually listen. Like we play for each other. Like we actually believe in each other." That's special, man, because you guys aren't going off of names. You're going off of energy and what you believed. And I really fucking hope you guys go far. Like Tristan, I'm not even saying it because you're here. Like what I saw last week, and like it was refreshing because it was passion compared to people just, playing, closed-minded, not trying to take no advice, just playing, get salary, whatever. Like you guys actually wanted it. And I really hope you Firearm Toady, Crushmo, and has a, really take it as far as possible. Place top 3 at a major, win an event. Like I really wish you guys the best. But Colin, any other last words from you too?
I just want to thank Musics as well for being here. I want to thank him for making that entire weekend completely and utterly exhilarating for me in so many different ways. I had a scare with the little old lady, but it was one of the best weekends I've had in a long time. I got to watch the entire thing back. It was amazing for me because as I explained to you prior to the show, I think the world of Firearm as a human being. So I do as well. Hope you guys stick together. I hope you guys stick it out. I think Toadie's been my hero for a few weeks now. Every time I saw that man in San Diego, I dapped him up, let him know he was my damn hero and to keep it moving, keep it going. So just please stick together, Tristan. I beg of you, keep these boys going, keep that energy up, keep those good vibes, and just make names, make noise, and make everybody wish they had y'all on their team.
Yes, sir.
Well said, man. And Tone, go ahead, show off the merchandise one more time before we go. If you guys didn't know, we dropped a special apparel line. Shout out to Bracket Dandy. So listen, if you want to be best dressed like Colin, if you want to be your girl's favorite light skin, even if you're dark skin or white skin, it's okay. Go ahead, cop the merch, support your people. And listen, we always put back out for the community. So we love you guys. We want to thank you guys for always supporting us just by clicking on the stream. The link is on the bottom of the page, ugcstore.gg/on-the-flank. It's also in the chat. Next time I see you guys, I'll be in Ohio. I'm not sure if I'll see you there, Colin, but if I do, it's hugs and love as usual. If not, I'm gonna miss you. Tristan, February is way too damn long. I can't wait to see you again, man. I hope the next Tristan I see is like on some Super Saiyan shit, like on some real shit, man. I really hope so. But shout out to people out there. Make sure you follow Music. He's next up. He's seriously next up. You saw what he did. Grand finals against Object Gaming. But you guys take it easy. I'm your boy Velly on the flank. We out.
Later.
Love that outro.